Good morning. This is Mr. Midamo TK, YouTube channel, smart_travelers. NaOH. It's a good morning here in Kenya, Africa. This morning I want to take you through the marking scheme, or how the 2008 Biology Practical paper was marked. Welcome. Ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes when examiners mark Biology Paper 3? Let's dive into the 2008 paper and uncover the secrets that could boost your exam skills. By the end of this video, you have a clear understanding of the marking process and the examiner's mindset. You gain practical tips that could transform the way you approach and answer Biology Paper 3 questions, setting you on the path to higher scores and greater confidence in your exam preparation. Question 1. Below is a photograph of a dissected mammal. Examine the photograph. So that is the photograph of the dissected mammal. From my point of view, the mammal looks like a rat. And you can see now in the photograph you have a part G, F, prostate gland, A, B, C, kidney, D, E, and a pair of scissors. All those ones you can be able to be seen. You can see the parts G, F, and prostate glands are on the left. And you can very clearly see the ribosines are touching the structures. The A, B, C, kidney, D, and E are on the right when you are facing the video. Name the parts labeled A, B, C, D, and G. And if you look at the photograph carefully, you find that A is liver, B, stomach, C, spleen, D, small intestines, or what we call ileum, and G is the duodenum. State the function of the structures labeled E and F. E is rectum. And what is the work of rectum? It stores feces. Or you can say it stores, or you can say it is storage of undigested material or indigestible material. Reject indigested. It should be indigestible. F is cecum. It contains or harbors or stores or has bacteria which produce enzyme which digest cellulose, or you can say which produce cellulase which digest cellulose. Accept, act, digest on cellulose to produce glucose, digestion of cellulose, site, place where digestion of cellulose occurs, but reject bacteria digest cellulose or act on cellulose. In the photograph, label the structure where vitamin K is produced. Label on the photograph the following: colon, large intestine, vitamin K is produced here because vitamin K is produced in the colon or large intestines. Or you can just say after the labeling, vitamin K is produced here. So guys, there was an adjustment I had done to the photograph, and it will adjust to the original. So you can see here there is a red line here, this red line. So this red line here can touch the red line for the colon or large intestine, or where vitamin K produced here can be touching any of these places from here. You can see the cursor. All right. And that is why now we note here that the labeling can originate from any part of the red line. So before the color was different, so I adjusted. Label lines should not cross. Okay? So you are not supposed to, for example, draw this red line to cross any of the other label lines in the diagram, right? For you to get that question. Name the sex of the mammal in the photograph, and then Roman 2, you give a reason for your answer in 1 above. The sex of the mammal is male. Why? There is presence of prostate, which is labeled. Okay, so you say presence of prostate gland, or presence of testes, they can be seen, or presence of testes, or presence of seminal vesicles. But you reject prostate glands. It is one prostate gland. It is not plural. You can see the technicalities of marking. The actual length of the dissecting scissors in the photograph is 15 centimeters. Calculate the magnification of the photograph. Magnification is 9.1 plus or 0.1 centimeters over 15 centimeters. And this gives you 0.6, 0.607, 0.613. How do you get this? 9.1 is got as the measurement. You measure the length of the scissors in the photograph with your ruler, and then you divide by the actual, because it is drawing length over actual length. That's the formula for magnification. When you do the calculation, you get 0.6 times, 0.61, and 0.613. Marking points on working and the answer. Reject if the units for what is measured are not indicated, and if the symbol X is not put before the number. The symbol X represents magnification. Calculate the actual length of the mammal from the tip of the nose to point X on the tail. Actual length, which is drawing length over magnification. You have already calculated the magnification by using the scissors as your reference. And you have drawing length is either 14.5 or 14.6 or 14.7 depending on how accurate you are. So the range will arrive between 23.65 to 24.50 after you do all the calculations. And you can see here I have started with 4.5 and I've done the calculations to each of the ranks which were given there for 14.5, 14.6, 14.7. And then they are giving you various answers. So any of these answers is taken as correct. So I would recommend you study the calculations, right? Start with 14.5 with the drawing lengths up there. You clear that one. Come to 14.6 with the drawing length up there. You clear that one, and then finally deal with 14.7 centimeters. So, question 2. You are provided with the substances labeled STU, X, and Y. ST and U are food substances, while X is 10% sodium hydroxide solution, and Y is 1% copper sulfate solution. Carry out tests to determine the food substances in S, T, and U, and you get 9 marks. So, in that question 2, apart from what we have just mentioned there, you require 3 test tubes, 2 droppers at least 14 centimeters long, test tube rack. The teacher will require an addition of 5 test tubes and about 20 ml of distilled water for every candidate. 2 ml of solution S, milk powder supplied in a test tube. 2 ml of solution T, maize flour supplied in a test tube. 2 ml of solution U, wheat flour supplied in a test tube. 6 ml solution X, which is 10% sodium hydroxide solution, supplied in a test tube. 2 ml of solution Y, 1% copper sulfate solution, supplied in a test tube. And these are the results of the experiments. You have substance STU. Food substance being tested is protein. Procedure is given there, observations and conclusion. Why is the food substance being tested being protein? Because the reagents given were sodium hydroxide 10% and 1% copper sulfate, which are the reagents used to test protein. So you are not going to test any other food substances because the reagents suggest to you or give a hint of the food substance you are going to test. So let's go through the table. S, food is the substance being tested. Food substance being tested in that substance was protein. To 1 meal of food substance and equal amount of 10% sodium hydroxide solution, a mark, and a few drops of 1% copper sulfate solution, a mark. Drop wise, shaking after each drop. Shaking after each drop, you can omit it. It can be there or not be there. But note, sodium hydroxide is added fast, and the reason is to dissolve proteins because they are insoluble in water. Copper sulfate can react with ammonium ions in proteins. The correct sequence must be followed. Sodium hydroxide followed by copper sulfate. Order is important and not quantity. The observations you have is purple for S, color, purple color, or you can just say violet. Then conclusion you make is protein present. So in that part, you get, for S you get 4 marks. Now for T, you start awarding marks at observations and conclusion because the food substance is the same. So you cannot award another mark there. And that is why we are putting the symbol there, which means equivalent. So that those 3 strokes there means equivalent. So you repeat the procedure like above. And you do the same to you. So their procedures are also not earning any marks because it's a repetition of up there. Observations, no color change for T or blue color, protein absent was the conclusion. For you, the observations were pale purple color or light purple color or mauve, pale mauve or light mauve. Reject violet because the conclusion was traces of protein presence, or you can say erythroprotein present. Why we are writing OWTTE, which means or once to that effect. Distribution of the marks, as I said, food substance is 1 mark, procedure is 2 marks, observation is 3 marks, conclusion is 3 marks, total 9 marks. So you are supposed to mark the procedure independently. Spelling of technical terms must be correct. If symbols are used, they must be written correctly. If you commit yourself to write percent, it must be correct. Insist on correct percentage given in the stem of the question if the student commits him or herself. If chemical formula is wrong, don't mark observations and conclusions. So there we are saying, if you say and sodium hydroxide without writing the percentage, followed by copper sulfates, that's correct. But if you commit yourself with the percentages, it must be 10% and 1%. If procedure is wrong, stop marking. I want the mark for procedure when it is correct. If procedure for S and the food substance is correct, give equivalent marks for food substance and procedure for T and U. If procedure is wrong, don't mark observations and conclusions. Accept correct symbols if a chemical formula is written. Question 3. Below are photographs of specimens obtained from plants. Examine the photographs. So there you are. We have specimen K, specimen L, specimen M, specimen N, W, specimen N, okay. Then we have specimen P and specimen Q. In the table below, name the mode of dispersal and the features that adapt the specimens to that mode of dispersal. For K, animal, Y, it has hooks, or it is hooked, or it has hooked-like structures. For L, animals, mode of dispersal, because it is fleshy, or it is succulent, or it is juicy. Fleshy means thick and soft. Please note that. Succulent means full of juice. All right. M, weed. Adaptive features, parachute, hairs, or you can say hairy, or you can say purpose, or you can say hair-like projections. Reject parachute alone. N, weed. Adaptive features, winged, winged pericarp, wing-like extension, has wings. Any of those answers. P, animals or animal. It is fleshy. Accept succulent because of classification. Reject juicy. Q, self-explosive mechanism, or you just say self, or you say self mechanism. Reject explosive mechanism without the word self. Lines of dehiscence are the adaptive features, or lines of weakness, or sutures. Label any two parts of specimen L, 2 marks. You can see that line which is dividing it into two, you mark clockwise from the middle dotted line. First two. You mark the first two. Mark clockwise first two from the middle dotted line. So we have epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. So when you come to the endocarp, you can see I've just put the equivalent. And the placenta, I've put the equivalent. And the seed, I've put the equivalent. So TS lemon fruit, reject the wrong spelling of words on the labeling. Reject arrowed label lines. Arrows show direction. That is why you don't put arrows. Label lines, also reject label lines not touching the structure. State the type of presentation in specimen L, and then in C, name the structure label in W on specimen P. So the type of presentation is axo or central. Reject wrong spelling, e.g. axio or free central. The structure W is seed or endocarp, and you can accept dicotyledonous seed. Conclusion. In this video, my viewers, we are not just reviewing past exam questions. We are getting an insider's perspective from a senior examiner on how the 2008 biology paper 3 was marked. From common pitfalls to the key elements that earn top marks, this walkthrough will give you a detailed look at what examiners really look for. Whether you are a student or a teacher, these insights are invaluable. So, welcome to watch the video many times, repeated many times, so that you grasp what the senior examiner was talking about. Acknowledgement. This work is truly a team effort. There are too many people who inspired me to come up with the production of this video, and I thank them with all my heart. I also thank my family members for their support and encouragement, patience, and tolerance during my long hours of typing the PowerPoint presentation. I'm also grateful to all my teammates during marking exercise of the KCSE Paper 3 who in one way or the other participated in coming up with the final draft of the marking scheme during our modulation as senior examiners. I'm also paying special thanks to ChatGPT, an AI language model developed by OpenAI for providing assistance with creating content for this video. Goodbye and welcome to my next video on the practicals. So guys, we are thankful for you watching this video to the end. We cannot take everything for granted. Subscribe to the channel so that you can have videos like this, which are amazing and are of very great help to either the teachers or the students who prepare for the examinations. Going over this video many times is going to be your advantage. Bye bye guys, and I wanted to say girls. It's because I was teaching girls in my last time. So bye bye guys, and see you in my next amazing video of the biology practicals.